Okay, so we talked about Trevor Bauer and his potential cheating. Let's talk about the Mets now. Last week, were they cheating? So Michael Conforto, you probably have heard of Michael Conforto. So the Mets had a walk-off hit by pitch last week to win the game 3-2 against the Miami Marlins. Michael Conforto basically leaned into one, but the ball was over the strike zone, and the umpire was about to call him out, but then he decided it was a hit by pitch. But in hindsight, the umpire acknowledges later on after reviewing it that he made a bad call, that he should have called him out. So the pitch was in the strike zone. Clearly, he leaned into one, and this is something that players do a lot, and or I shouldn't say a lot, but somewhat regularly. And they tried it. They were ballsy. They tried it, and they got away with it. But this isn't something like trash cans or digital cameras. This steroids, HGH, and the Chicago Black Sox handle and things like that. This is leaning into one and getting away with it, getting plunked and getting away with it, and it's that simple. I don't call it a cheating scandal. I think the Mets, they knew they could get thrown out, but again, they got away with it. Again, it's early season. If it was Game 6 of the World Series of the NLCS or something like that, I'm sure it would have gotten a heck of a lot more scrutiny. People would be, and people's hairs would be on fire. So this is, I'm not saying that it's any less serious than it was last week, or any difference whether it's April or October. But again, they tried it, they got away with it, and they won the game 3-2. So, and the umpire admitted his mistake. So it is what it is. Again, I don't think it's a scandal, but he did sacrifice himself to get hit by the pitch. It's not like my my thumbnail here where it's Corbin Burnson. If you've ever seen the infamous scene from Major League 2 where the manager asks him to step into a pitch and he acts like he's dying after he's hit in the back, the shoulder. And I'll actually post that video for you in the description. It's absolutely hilarious. It'll be the first video down there, and it's really funny. This is a little bit different, but back to the meat and potatoes of it. I wouldn't call it a cheating thing. You can call it, I guess, getting away with a minor cheat, and that's it. Again, it's completely different than the Astros, completely different than the Pete Rose thing, even though that's completely different. I would say the Astros are the Black Sox, throwing the game for money and all that stuff. Pine tar, stuff like that. It is what it is. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't think it's that big of a scandal. The Trevor Bauer thing's a little bit different. Obviously, it's a different situation, so we'll see what happens with that. But again, I gave my 2 cents in that video. That's also in the description. So if you haven't seen that, take a look at it. This is baseball stuff. Little things like that. There are other things in basketball. There are things with football, and the things that people get away with. The things that things that drive me nuts, like basketball. People can get away with flagrant fouls, but then you tap a guy's finger and it's a foul. It happens 100 times a game, which is why the 1,700 fouls called in so many basketball games. Even if you tap a finger, it's a foul. Those things to me are ridiculous, but it is what it is. So give me your feedback in the comments below, whether you think this is a big deal or a bigger deal, whether you think it's just it's typical baseball getting away with shenanigans. And that's what I think it was. He got away with shenanigans. It might have been a small cheat, but he leaned into a pitch. It's a lot different than some of the other things that people are doing. So I'm not saying that I'm endorsing it or supporting it, because I'm clearly not. I would have the same. I would call out a Yankees player if he did it, being a Yankee fan. If the Yankees player got away with something, I'd call it out too. And that's in an effort to not be overly partial here on this channel too. So, but give me your feedback either way in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up. I do videos like this. I talk about other things aside from post-game recaps. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. If you like things like this, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification so you see every video that comes out. You know exactly when it comes out. And I'll be doing my post-game recap later. Gerrit is going to be on the mound tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays in, I think they're in Buffalo or Albany, wherever they're playing. And hopefully the Yankees fare better against the Blue Jays in this next 3-game series than they did in the opening series in Bronx. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for that later on. That's either going to come later tonight or tomorrow morning, but be on the lookout. So thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.